Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jen Taylor with the Smart Move Group of Keller Williams here in the beautiful Howard County, Maryland. And today I wanted to create a video that really just talked about how to prepare your home for sale. So I've had a lot of conversations recently regarding like how people can take advantage of this time off during COVID-19 and the stay-at-home orders. To prepare their homes for sale, because maybe they were thinking about selling prior to the pandemic hitting, or maybe they just want to, like I said, take advantage of this time and get their home for sale. This video is going to be about how to prep your home for sale. So this is for sellers. So if this is something that you think will help you, obviously stick around and let's just start talking. So prepping your home for sale. This is a really big deal for sellers because the effort that you put into prepping your home is basically what you're going to get back out of it. So perception is real and perceived value from the buyer's perspective is very real. So how you present your property is very, 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 very important. So if you're working with a real estate agent, definitely talk to them about how you should be preparing your home. This is how I tell my sellers to prepare their homes. So first things first is you want to take a step back and you want to look at it from the buying perspective. What are buyers going to see when they walk into your home? So I usually tell my sellers to, one, if they've sold with me before, then obviously they know the drill. Two, if they haven't, take a step back. Approach your home as if you were a buyer. So literally go outside and walk through the front door. And what are the things that you pick up on? You know, are the baseboards dirty? Do the carpets need cleaned? Are the floors torn up from your dog? Does the paint need touched up? Does the whole house need to be repainted? Does your kitchen look dated? Are there things that are obvious that need to be fixed? Even from the outside, first impressions are so important. So does the house need to be power washed? Does your sidewalk need to be power washed? Do you need to refresh the mulch in your front yard? Is the wreath that's on your front door been hanging there for 7 years and need to be replaced? Things like that go a long way with how you present your property. And that's part of my job as a real estate agent, is to educate my clients on how to present their homes properly. So first things first, let's talk about the outside. You probably have some type of garden going on, maybe, some landscaping, light landscaping. I know a lot of townhouses do, single family homes do. Obviously, if you're in a condo, that's a different story. But, landscaping, you want to take that seriously because, one, pictures are the first thing that buyers see when they decide whether or not they want to come see a house or not. So the way that you're presented from the outside, how they see you on the outside, is going to determine whether or not they want to actually come into your home. So landscaping on the outside, checklist items. You're going to want to do mulch. You're going to want to do seasonal flowers, flower pots, anything that, if you have a front porch, making it more welcome to come to the front door. You get wreaths, welcome mats. I have a stash of welcome mats that say welcome home, because you want them to already be thinking like, can this be my new home as I come into the house? So you want to make sure that you take care of all that. So my house, for instance, I have a set of 2 rocking chairs out front. I have nice welcome mats and rugs. I have a wreath on my front door, and all of my landscaping is done. So I have hostas. Hostas are great. They live through anything, so go to Home Depot and get some hostas and plant them in some planters, then you don't have to worry about them dying. And fresh mulch can go a long way, because the professional pictures that your real estate agent should be taking, will make the house just look that much better. So next step, stepping inside. What are your first impressions as soon as you walk through the door? And this isn't only from a finish perspective, so what kind of floors you have, what kind of paint is on the wall and things like that, but it's also from the sense of smell. So you want to be aware of how your home smells. And as funny as that sounds, it's so important, because, people can walk into a home and immediately tell if you're a cat person. They can immediately tell if you have dogs. They can immediately tell if you smoke. And those things can devalue your home more than what you really think, because you're desensitized, right? You can't smell it. So, but other people can. So if you have any type of odor like that, I have 2 dogs. So if I were ever to go and sell my home, I would make sure that I had a professional cleaning done. Just because I don't want it to smell like dogs. I don't want it to be the first thing that people smell. And honestly, like, I don't think my house smells like dogs. I clean it regularly, but who knows, because I could be desensitized and somebody else that walks in could smell my 2 little Jack Russell Terriers. So you want to make sure that you're aware of how your home smells, and that's going to come into play when you hire a professional cleaner to go through and clean the entire house prior to listing. Okay, and I always suggest that, whether it's somebody that you've used in the past or if somebody that I've recommended to you, it goes a long way investing in how your home is perceived when you have it professionally cleaned prior to listing. Okay, so next step, smell, sight. How does it visually come off as soon as you walk through the door? You want to get rid of any clutter that might be in your doorway. So shoes, coats, hats, backpacks, kid stuff. You want to make sure all that's gone. When somebody walks into your home, you want it to feel open and basically, give them the choice. Where do they want to go next? When a house is cluttered and somebody walks into the front door and they don't know where to go because of all the stuff that's around, it's immediately going to throw them off and feel like your house is too small and probably not for them. So even if you do have a small entry foyer, you want to make sure that everything is tidy, everything is put away, all of your shoes are gone, backpacks, books, hats, whatever you have all around. You want to make sure all of that stuff is gone. And you want to make sure that upon entry, the house presents very clean. People don't want to walk around a dirty house. So make sure that that area is kept very, very clean, vacuum, sweep, mop, wipe down stuff if you have to, and make sure that it stays clear of any clutter. Moving on, the next thing that I realize that buyers typically will look at is going to be paint color. So even though it's the most simple fix in the world, most people can suffer through painting their house. If you have obnoxious colors, it can throw people off because it just shows as an expense to them. So if you have red on your wall, blue on your wall, green on your wall, any type of color that isn't going to be your neutral, it can come off very much in your face, and it can throw buyers off because it's an automatic expense. Not many people have stuff that might go with a royal blue wall or with a red wall or with a hunter green wall. So you have to be prepared to go neutral. And that's not to say that you can't have color in your house. There are very pretty light, barely tinted colors of green and blue and stuff like that. So if you have those type of, colors on your wall, that's typically fine. Your grays, your beiges, those are fine. White's fine. But if you have any type of bold colors, any statements that you've made that personalize the house to your taste, if you can, you want to make sure that you scale that back. So painting is very, very important to freshen a house up, especially if you have some dark colors. Depending on how big your house is, it can enclose the room. And if they're not done professionally, or your paint lines aren't very good, say you did it yourself like me, I'm not a good painter at all, I would want to make sure that stuff got taken care of prior to me listing my home for sale. Past paint is probably going to be flooring. So take a look at your flooring. You want to make sure that if you can't afford to replace your carpet, at least have it cleaned. It's very cheap to have it cleaned these days. And they also, Stanley Steamer, you can get, hardwood floors cleaned. You can get tile cleaned. Have your floors cleaned. If you can't afford to replace them, have them cleaned. The only exception to that is that if there's damage caused by a pet. You really can't avoid addressing damage caused by a pet. It's kind of one of those things. If you knew you had a dog and your dog was going to ruin your floors, it's one of those investments that you just have to make prior to selling your home. I have a house coming onto the market soon right now, and his entry was very scratched up from his dog. Well, as I just spoke about, the first impression, the entry into your home, is probably one of the most important areas that need to be presented well. So you know, for him, the floors being scratched up and a mess from his dog was going to throw a lot of things off for him in the perception of his home. And when you're talking about a $600,000 house, you want to make sure that it's right. So, you know, the only exception to cleaning floors versus replacing floors is if you have a pet and they have damaged. So, you know, with carpet, if they have peed or pooped on the floor multiple times, and for the love of all things holy, you can't get it out of the carpet, you're going to want to get that replaced. You don't want that around when somebody's buying your home. You know, same thing with the hardwood floors. If they're all scratched up and faded and dented and those type of things, either one, get them refinished, or two, get them replaced. And you want to always put back in what was there. So, you know, a lot of people go towards, you know, the cheapest option possible. Cheapest isn't always best. You know, you can do it right. And, you know, people know the value of a good hardwood floor, or people know the value of, you know, decent carpet versus builder grade stuff, which just shows like a cheap lipstick on a pig. So the next thing that I would say as far as prepping your home goes, so we talked about the exterior, we talked about your entryway, we talked about cleaning, we talked about paint, we talked about flooring. The next thing, you know, kitchen and baths sell houses. So those are the areas that you want to focus on the most if you can when you're trying to present your home well. You know, it doesn't matter if your cabinets are old, your countertops are old, just make sure that it's very, very clean and decluttered. So when you're going into your kitchen, if there's stuff that you can get rid of it. And then obviously make it very, very clean so that, you know, it doesn't show like an old kitchen, or it doesn't show like something that might be dirty and it needs to be replaced right away. It shows as it's livable at this point, and they can make the decision on whether or not they love the rest of the house and they can live with this aspect of it right now. The same thing goes with bathrooms is, you know, they might be dated, but as long as they're clean, the cleanliness is the most important thing. People can live with clean. People cannot live with beat up and dirty. So if you're missing tile, if you have chipped tile, if the grout's dirty, things like that will cause you to rethink, you know, whether or not you need to do any type of replacement, if you need to do a deep cleaning, if you need to re-grout, if you need to have the tile refinished. Those type of things are very important to consider. And, you know, from a real estate perspective, your real estate agent should be able to tell you whether or not you can go the fix or replaced route. So in a nutshell, preparing your home for sale, it's very, very important as a seller that you take this seriously, because the effort you put in is what the perceived value is going to be from the buyer that you get out of it, basically. So if you want your home to present well, and I have never came across a seller that doesn't want top dollar for their home unless they have extenuating circumstances, you want to put the time and the effort into preparing your home for sale. So take care of the outside, make sure that it's nice, power wash, clean, paint your front door, you know, make sure that your entryway is very presentable, declutter. You want to make sure that the paint is neutral, the flooring is clean, your house is clean, there are no smells, and, you know, make sure that the big ticket items in your home present well, your kitchen and your bath. So if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Give me a comment below if there's anything that you'd like me to elaborate on, and obviously share this video with anybody that you think might be in the market to sell. You know, I'm in the state of Maryland. I'm in Howard County. I'm located in Columbia. We service Howard County, Anne Arundel County, Baltimore County. So, you know, we're happy to help and assist and have conversations with people who are trying to prepare their home for sale. Thumbs up, share, subscribe, and I will be back soon, and I will see you then. Bye, guys.